All right, my
So
brother.
what comes to mind when you hear Black with No Chaser?
I love it, man, because I think that it's a medium that we can speak truth and that we can have straight talk. And sometimes it's going to take straight talk to deal with our situation because we're in a nefarious crisis right now. And I think that we should have a platform that we can speak truth to the highest degree.
I mean, it's just being frank. It's just real talk. You know, when I see Black with No chaser, we finna get to it. It's the real deal. No sugarcoating, just right to it.
Being that you have such a reach, I thank you for putting me on, man.
For sure. And you know, we always ask folks when they first come on here, man, because it's like a tradition. You know, we started doing this the first season. We started, and the question is right there in front of you. You can see it. What comes to mind when you hear Black with No Chaser?
With no chaser, pure, hardcore, the real. You know what I mean?
The real.
Yeah, man, the essence, the real essence.
All right.
Man, what's good, man? I just want to say, bro, I'm a fan of the show. You know what's funny is I was already watching the show before this got queued up, so I was ready to go for this one. I was like, you know what?
Oh, that's lit. Right on, man.
Canine intervention. Because you know, I'm like I consume a lot of content because I'm multimedia, so it's like I'm constantly consuming content, trying to find out what's out there. What can we bring into ours? The look of it, the filming and shots, and whatever the case may be.
Right.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, though, I got a dog too, so I'm like, look, man, they might have a gym on there. From the
Shout
show.
out to JB.
Yeah, man. Running around, it's a little mini schnauzer now. It ain't no damn pit bull or nothing like that.
It don't matter. They all need some structure and some direction and some leadership.
Yeah, but what struck me the most, especially the first episode, man, you almost had me. You almost like I thought somebody brought the onions out, man. We had the little ride. You almost broke down in tears. I was like, damn, I ain't never seen nobody love a dog like that, boy.
Yeah, man. You know, shit. My dog's been a big part of my life, man. You know what I mean? Like I was born in New York and I was raised out here with just mom. So, you know, my dog's like, you know, a real close part of my life. And, you know, I kept my dogs close, man. So when I had to put down my dog, Sinbad, that was like a dog. That was like, you know, I had my whole little breeding program. I had my whole training program, all this and that. But I got home one day and he had killed a dog, man. It was like, it was either me or the dog, this type of situation. And I had to do what I had to do because he had already had like his third little situation. So the city was like, it's all nothing. And the liability of having a dog like that, you know, they make it hard. So you had to do what I had to do, man. But, you know, it's all good, man. It taught me a lot. It actually opened up a lot of doors, man, from that lesson right there. So,
yeah,
you know.
man. One of the things that, you know, that I actually started doing a little bit, but not for real, but kind of sort of, is the box treatment, right? From the box. I don't have a box per se. That's a great thing in my crib that you can kind of use as a stool or whatever. I've been kind of using it, and that actually does work because it gives them like a safe space to be in and see what the hell is happening right now. But the thing is that if you watch the show, and for anybody out there who is going to be watching this and has not watched the show, you should, especially if you got an unruly dog, because honestly, you don't necessarily have to bring them to Petco or another trainer. There's gems that's being dropped in that show, like throughout the entire series, where if you would just listen long enough, you watch the show long enough, you could pick up on certain things you could be reinforcing and doing with your dog. And so that's really dope, man.
It's a lot of free game for sure.
Game.
You gotta listen in, man. You can apply a lot of that stuff, man. That's the same stuff I charge people a lot of money for to do it one-on-one. So if you out there on the show and you can, you know, soak up the game, it's right there for you. You know, not to mention that I got free dog training on Mondays and Fridays on my IG Live. So we give away a lot of game, man. It's really trying to empower the whole dog community. We're trying to cut the euthanization rate by 50%, you know, and everybody's not here in Silicon Valley or in the Bay Area where they can train. So it's like, man, we just gonna take it to the world. I know God gonna bless me in other ways, even though I'm giving it away. So yeah, like you say, bro, it's a lot of game. I'm glad you can apply it to your situation.
That's right. I mean, when you're walking in your path, of course, you're going to get rewarded. God's definitely appreciative of you making sure that you're giving these gems. And I mean, you know that these gems are necessary and needed. And so we appreciate you out there because, I mean, I don't have a dog, but I know for sure that once I get one, that I'm going to be looking towards your direction for the correct guidance, for sure.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm trying to do is just be that guy, you know, that people, you know, can come to and get the right knowledge to get the job. A lot of people, you know, are preaching this dog game, but they can't really deliver the results, and they don't get it in depth like we get it, you know. So I basically got it and was able to take it from, you know, the top, you know, tiers of dog training and then bust it down to where, you know, everybody can understand it and put it in layman's terms and get it down to the average person. So that was my whole goal. Like instead of just chasing my own trophies and my own accolades, I'm like, let me go take this game and go distribute it, you know. And like I said, man, it's been a blessing to see people from around the world really able to get their dogs under control and to basically get that pack leadership and that communication to understand how to keep the dog motivated and engaged. And man, that's my whole goal, man. Again, 50% euthanization rate. We're trying to cut it down.
So how long have you been doing this, and when did you start taking it super seriously?
Well, I mean, it's like this. Like back in the day, I was reading the dog books. You know, I was kind of an ADHD kind of kid. I was always getting in trouble. I was always, you know, causing disruptions in the class because I just was a different kind of learner, you know. But the animals that kept me engaged, you know, and it's like I could read stuff about dogs and stuff while everybody's doing other things. If I wasn't, I'm gonna cause problems in the classroom if I'm bored, right? So, you know, basically it was certain things that kept me engaged. And, you know, the animals, the dogs, the horses, all that kind of stuff. You know, here in the Oakland Hills, there's like a horse stables and stuff like that. So we got opportunities to go up there and ride and mess with animals. And that just was my thing. And then from there, I always was into the dogs. I had plenty of dogs growing up. You know, moms would just let me, you know, oh, mom, look at this dog. He's this, he's that. Well, let me just keep him. I'll take care of him. So I accumulate some dogs, and everybody know me for having dogs. And then, you know, I was doing other things, went to school to be an aircraft mechanic, and then kind of dropping out of that. I finished it, dropped out of that situation, ended up growing weed, you know, because we had the cannabis culture out here. And then I basically got into the dogs through bringing in the security element through my grows. And then from that, I basically was like, you know what? I need to do something that I can, you know, my mom can be proud of and this and that. So I kind of built Cali Canine and spun off of that. And then basically, yeah, that's just how the story goes. This was like, last 10 years, I just been this how I feed my family. This is how I, you know, feed my team. And, you know, we teach people, how, you know, what they need to know about getting their dogs under control.
I got that, right? You've been around a lot of dogs over the years. Your dogs, other people's dogs, right? Now, you got some very extreme cases on the show. And I'm assuming that that's not even some of the most extreme cases you had over the years. Like, what's the extreme case where you're like, you know what, man? I can't even. Your dog is at a point. Has there ever been a time when it's like a dog point of return? Like every dog is trained.
Well, the thing is like trained to what degree? You know, certain dogs, you know, they can be trained and be managed. And then if, you know, as long as they don't have a bunch of little dogs always around them and then they face getting aggressive with them, they can be managed. I mean, certain dogs, they've done a lot of damage. And, you know, at that point, it's like you really can't trust them. You can train them to where they can handle it, they can be around them and everything is there. But, you know, it's up to you to trust them. You know what I mean? So you got to make that judgment call based on what the dog is showing you. If the dog is showing you, hey, I can coexist with this dog and everything's cool, I still make sure he proves to me that he can do it because, you know, we always kind of work off worst case scenario. A lot of times we want to be optimistic, but we don't want to be naive, you know, so I always want to set people up for success. So sometimes it's like this dog is not going to be a great dog for the kids because it just doesn't love kids. It's not really comfortable in his own skin. If you got 5 kids and a dog who don't like kids, that's not the right dog for you necessarily. You see what I mean? Now, it might be great for someone else, you know, an older lady who's kind of, you know, all her kids are out of the home. The dog's protective about this. And that's a good setup for that situation. So sometimes I do have to make that judgment call, you know, but a lot of times we're able to help people, you know, get through it. Those are extreme cases, like you said. But most of the time, we're able to socialize the dog, get the dog's behavior, you know, wrapped around the lifestyle that the person's living. And usually it could be no problem in fixing the situation. A lot of times dogs are just either overly dominant are overly nervous. And you, in both of those situations, you have to create balance. You know,
Makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, like anything, right? Got to create balance
Right.
in their life and
exactly.
get them more even kill as opposed to being super timid or super aggressive.
Exactly. And then a lot of handlers sometimes they reinforce the wrong stuff, so the dog's going snowballing in the wrong direction. You see what I mean? Versus that balanced direction. So, you know, if you have a dominant dog, you can do things and live with the dog where you're allowing him to get away with more dominant behavior, and that's going to keep reinforcing the wrong thing in his head.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like having a child and you laughing at him because they doing this, so they talking back and all this and that, and you think it's cute now, but it's actually creating more of a problem. So when they get into the 6th grade, then the 10th grade, and then now they grown, and you saying, well, the signs was all there, everybody was letting them get away with it, so now, you know. So the thing is, you have to be responsible for the information that goes in, and you can't turn your blind eye to the things that aren't cool. You have to address them, and you have to, again, if a dog is showing signs that he's not sociable in certain situations, he's uncomfortable or dominant, you have to basically overcompensate in that area to make sure that dog is you know, really socialized in that area. So, you know, that's what it's about. It's about, you know, every dog is like, they all have their formula. And a little bit of dogs need a little bit of this, and some dogs need a little bit of that, and then you just balance it out till it's got the right flavor, and then boom, your dog's ready to go. And then from there, you still got to maintain it because they can slide to the left, slide to the right.
Yeah,
you know?
That's so true. That's so
Yeah.
true. So look, I
Yeah.
know you've had plenty of successes, and I know that you've had not so many successes, but could you share with us like what was one of the most memorable improvements that you've seen with all of the different dogs that you have come across?
Well, you know, there's all, you know, I get desensitized because we've been doing it for so long. But it really comes down to just like, say, in like the story of the show, like Andrew, like, you know, getting his mom to wrap her mind around the fact that the dog can't wear these little boots and booties and shoes, and the dog is not her daughter. And getting Drew to say, you know, I'm a sad, unconfident kid, and I'm sad because my dad is locked up, and I'm sad because, you know, my brothers are leaving, but I got him up. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I do it for. I do it for them times where I can, like, we get to help the dog, we help moms, we help the people. Like, it's bigger than dogs is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you know, and what we do with dogs, we do with young brothers.
Absolutely.
We got an underdogs program where we showing them how to be balanced and financially literate and emotionally intelligent. So like, that's the same thing we trying to do with the youth, just like we doing with the dogs. So again, it's bigger than dogs. You go into family situations and people beefing, their whole marriage is falling out because of this damn dog. You know what I mean? It's like, really all you got to do is put that little system in place and hold some people accountable. And then all of a sudden, the man's not right at the woman, or the woman's not mad at the man. All of a sudden, now we have harmony. So that's the shit I do it for. That's the lick right there. You know, it's bigger than dogs. You know,
That shit is deep though.
it is for sure. It for sure is. But you know, that's why I come from that. You see back here, man. I got that Tupac, come from that Tupac era. You know what I mean?
I see you. I ain't mad
We
at
on that
you.
revolution. We on that empowerment. You know what I mean? So we just do it through dogs.
Yeah, man. You know it's great. I always find it weird, like kind of like damn, man. People really get attached to their dogs. Like, you know, you got two people living together, will be, you know, got partners, whatever like that. And like, it is true though, man. Dogs can really rip people apart. Like, for real.
Absolutely.
Like you might have somebody that maybe asked for the dog and not take care of the dog, but wants the dog, and you try to get rid of the dog. It's like, man, like I feel like, you know, sometimes my pops was living, and my mom was like, we gotta get a dog, and my dad was like, nah, we get no dog, and then my mom was like, nah, we get a dog, and so we got a dog. And we never had a big dog, nothing like that. It was like a little Shih Tzu, and
Right.
it was a sweet dog, but not really the most well-trained dog. Right? And but my dad said, we get this dog, I ain't walking this damn dog.
Right.
And as fate would have it, though, they walk that dog every day, twice a day. He was.
Oh, your dad did?
Yeah, we walked that dog. Man, look,
Psych.
You're right.
man, he walked that dog. But it's funny because the flip that happened is that he ended up loving that dog to the day in which the dog got out, and you know, God rest his soul, Strudel. But he got hit by a car, and tragically, he passed away.
Man.
Yeah, man, but he ended up loving that dog, and he didn't even want the dog. He's like,
Man,
you know,
dogs are love, bro. Once you get them, I mean, he was thinking about the downside of it, but once you get that dog and you having a bad day and everybody mad at you, but the dog happy to see you, you know what I mean? That dog gives you life, you know what I mean? And just like the dogs are constant love, they're affectionate, you know, you need a hug, you need oxytocin. These are brain chemicals that happen. So the dog will make you feel good. The dog will get you outside, walking, get that dopamine flowing. Get you out in the nature where, you know, you seeing the moon in the mountains and all, I mean, you know, all these things going on outside, all because of the dog. Because if you didn't had a dog, he might have been, you know, you got unhealthy lifestyle. You get walking, now you're able to cut down on your blood pressure and your, you know, all that kind of stuff. Because now you're getting healthy. So there's so many things that dogs bring us. You know what I mean? A lot of times people just think about the negative, but there's so much positive. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, it teach you responsibility, it teach a young brother discipline, like all that kind of stuff. You know, you got to take after the dog. You know, before you have kids, you have a dog. Instead of putting a human on this earth and having to figure out, get some structure with a dog, and then say, okay, now I'm ready to be a dad or a mom. You know what I mean? So it's like it's so much you can do from having animals. It's deep. I'm telling you.
They got a lot of folk out there, boy. Let me tell you. I'm glad I got a dog, man. This is my second dog I had on my own, man. But, you know, I feel like I've done a better second go around than the first go around. But man, you know, having a dog really, I mean, it's not exactly a kid, but there's, and like you said, there's structure. There's something there which, like, if you can't take care of a dog,
right, you probably ain't ready for
9 times out of 10. Nah.
You probably ain't ready. You ain't
right. Right. And I'm a new dad, and it's like a lot of the stuff that I implement, it's the same thing. You know, you got to keep him engaged. My baby looking for stuff to do, and he's my child, so he got energy. You know, he's looking for stuff to mess up, and you got to keep him busy, and you got to make sure he's tired, and you got to make him stimulated, and you got to support the behavior you like. You know, when he does good stuff, I got to be, you know, I might not have a good day, but I got to be happy because he's, you know, I'm teaching. I'm his teacher. And if he's doing stuff that's wrong, I got to say, I mean, stop it. And he's got to know that certain things ain't going to fly, you know, and that's how you shape. We shaping dogs like we shaping babies, you know, and a lot of times, you know, it doesn't have to be any extremes. It's just consistency, you know, and that's why we preach the whole 15 minutes a day philosophy of training your dog. Like, as long as you put a little time in, give him some mental and physical stimulation, bad behavior is going to go away. 15 minutes a day keeps bad behavior away. That's what I'm saying.
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
So considering that you are a new father, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Being in this realm of training all of these dogs, has that assisted you in being able to better communicate certain behaviors and whatnot to your child?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Keeping him motivated, keeping him engaged, dissipating that energy, you know, reinforcing what I like, blocking what I don't, keeping them busy, you know what I mean? Like, understanding how to keep my house, you know, organized and clean, because the baby's going to find stuff you can get to, baby proofing. Right. You know, a lot of all that stuff, like dog proofing your house, picking up the shoes and all the things that they can go chew up and mess up. You got to do that with a baby. You got to make sure that they don't pick up little things that they can swallow and choke on. And so it all ties in. So, yeah, it gave me a lot of heads up. I feel like I'm a pretty good father, you know, in the process of being, you know, being a father of my child. So yeah,
that's the dope thing to feel, man. I love to hear it. I love it.
No, it's lit. It's lit. You know, especially because my dad wasn't really around growing up. So it's like, even though I'm like trying to freestyle it, I'm still, the dogs kind of gave me, you know, a lot of some foundation, you know, and just that overall how the brain develops. You know, through dog behavior, humans, we the same way. You know, practice. You got to practice before you get good at stuff. You got to practice. Y'all been on TV.
Absolutely.
I got to get on that camera and be used to it before you can just do it fluid, you know?
Facts.
So, with Canine intervention, though, man, like, you know, everybody be like, I got this thing, right? And so I think a lot of folks, this could be helpful to some people out there. Like, how did you get to the point where you're like, yo, I'm about to put this on a show? Was it you? Was it like somebody around you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what gave you the energy to say, dog, like, I'm about to put this on wax because I feel like this is something that's really going to be for a lot of people? Or were you like an influencer beforehand, and then it was like, you know what? I got some energy already. I'm training dogs like crazy. I got a following. And so let me go and piece of content that's going to be evergreen, where no matter what, people can take from this and really learn some jewels and so on and so forth?
Well, pretty much, man. I would say it's a combination of planning and manifesting it and God's work, and just kind of the right place, being prepared for the right opportunity. I definitely tried to shoot for a show a few years back. I really didn't have a resume like I do now. I really wasn't in a position with my team. So even if this full bull rush had just came, now I'm probably prepared for it. And I think that it was just destiny. But my whole mission was always to get the message out to the people. I took over my area. Everybody know me in my city. Everybody know me in my area. And, I've been hooked up with people like Kevin Hart and Steph Curry and Marshawn. I got organic relationships with the brothers that I deal with, and it's nice, bigger than dogs. Like, we partners. We're not just like, dog trainers and client type relationship. So I think it was just the timing. And I was actually at my homeboy Andre Berto's house. He's a boxer. And basically it was just like one of his like an artist who he buys artwork from. She was at his house at the time, and she was just like, I got to introduce you to my fiance who worked at a production company. And basically I went in there and told my story, sold myself, and then basically it was like, well, we got something, let's shoot it. And then, it was all about, network picking it up. Netflix liked it, and shit, it's been on since. So, my thing is like, I didn't do this for like I have everything I want. I built a business that's pretty successful. I can take care of my family. But my thing was like, I'm trying to do God's work and giving back and like giving, it said helping dogs, helping kids, and leaving my imprint on the world, after all this pandemic and all that is Black Lives Matter and everything that's going on. It's like, I'm trying to, like, I came on there, pieced up, Oakland kid, all the shit. I'm trying to show the youth, like, look, man, y'all can do whatever. I did this shit through training dogs. Like, however you can impact the world, like, do what you do and get good at it and take it and show people, you know what I mean? You ain't got to just be a rapper or an athlete, you know what I mean? We're trying to change the narrative and feel me, coming there tatted up, talking shit, you know what I mean? We got hood cats, I got real hood factors on there. We got Brookfield's finest. You know what I mean? Y'all know about Brookfield, Brandy Park, Oakland, California, GP Stokely. That's that's what Damian Lillard and everybody, cats, as they call it, the jungle. But, these are people who are really influencers. They powerful people. Y'all know that hood culture is way deeper than people try to make it out to be. It's like there's a lot of love and a lot of just art and creativity and originality. Mean a lot of stuff is pulled from Black culture and it made mainstream, but the shit starts in the hood. So, we wanted to show that part. We wanted to show I got a venture capitalist, but then I got, a hood ambassador. We got a little kid, different walks of life, all nationalities, because it's like it crosses into everything. All cultures, Black culture, Arabic culture, Asian culture, Indian culture, everybody's embracing dogs now. And they want somebody they can relate to.
That's right.
You see what I mean? So that's all the thing. Relatable and be able to get the message off in layman's terms. I can talk all the science with somebody corporate, or we could break it down in a different way. And someone else from somewhere else is going to get it the same thing that other person get, and we fixing all the problems.
Yeah, what you're talking about is being a damn good messenger. I think that
absolutely.
People be experts in the field, but they can't meet nobody on a level. So you like, bro, exactly. You don't really serve your true purpose. Expert, I think a true expert, like you said, which is like from the top on down, no matter the level, no matter the sophistication with a dog or whatnot, with science or whatnot, it's like you could say, look, right here, okay, I'm gonna meet you right there, give it to you, I'm gonna contextualize it for you, make it real for you. And that's why I feel like that's why you've been successful. It ain't because you're just knowledgeable, it's contextualizing a particular subject matter for people and then making it real for them on a case by case basis, and that's the sauce, right? That's really
very well said, bro.
That's the sauce for sure. Yeah, I feel like.
Absolutely. So we're at the end of our time with you. Unfortunately, this is a great conversation. But before we let you go, we're going to ask you this last question: what comes to mind when you hear "Black with No Chaser"?
When I Black with No Chaser, shit. Black with no chaser. You know what I mean? Like, we can talk our shit, be ourselves, be loud, be, you know what I'm saying? All unapologetically Black. Like, right. What's the brothers, Johnson, the educational brother, what's his name?
Umar Johnson.
What's his name?
Umar.
Umar, there you go. That brother there, you know, unapologetically black. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where I like, you know, I'm from Oakland, California. This is home of the Black Panthers. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, there's a lot of history there. That's when I think of No Chaser, I think we ain't gotta change for nobody. You know what I'm saying? We can talk in space, get it out there, and take it or leave it. That's what it is.
That's
y'all
what it is, bro.
Y'all don't get it. It ain't that. It ain't. I'm talking too fast. Y'all just listening too slow, like my brother.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, area's fine. Shout out to the GOAT.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Josh. Thank you so
sure.
much for your time.
It's all good, y'all.
It's a pleasure, brother, and good luck, man.
Well,
I'm looking for season 2, man.
Hey, y'all check out my IG live. I got free training on Mondays and Fridays, 15 minutes a day. That's our whole concept. So y'all check out IG live. It's at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We jump on there and we give it more game, more sauce. We got all my YouTube, Instagram. Y'all check out my TikTok. Everything's lit.
Everything lit. Okay, now you're a busy brother, man. You on all them social media platforms. You be moving, boy.
Yeah. No, you gotta take it and run with it, man. You can't just sit on your, you know, you're gonna get it if you sit on your ass.
That's right. That's right.
Hey,
for sure, y'all.
That's
all right, y'all. Take care. One love. God bless you.
One love. Bless.
All right.
What are you listening to? It really actually doesn't matter what you listen to. You could be listening to Black with No Chaser Radio, clearly. So forgot about that. Never forget. Right. Never forget. My mistake. Black with No Chaser Radio.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Gotta get to the money. Same shit again on the money. Gotta get to the money. Same shit again on the money. Same shit again on the.
Oh, I like this Black with No Chaser radio station.
I really appreciate y'all. This has been one of the most amazing interviews I've ever done. My job as one of the OGs, and my teachers will tell you, my teachers started Duke Ellington, the first class of Duke Ellington in DC. They were revolutionaries. They were street kings and queens. Glenda Dickerson, I got to give homage. Mike Malone, Peggy Cooper Cafridge, Skipper Driscoll, Charles Organs. Well, he's still alive, God bless. Charles Brown, who saved.
This is a human condition, right? This is a human suffering that we're seeing in Portsmouth, in Greene County, in SNCI, in Wilkinson County, all throughout this state, y'all. We've been focusing on Portsmouth, but we cannot forget about all the rest of our brothers and sisters throughout. Do we understand that?
Unapologetically black. I'm black, capital A, capital F. I love black women. Hennessy, Black with No Chaser.
What comes to mind is no cut cards. We're not holding back anything as black people, regardless of whatever the struggles, regardless of whatever pain, everything that we pretty much felt in 2020. Black with No Chaser represents we not holding nothing back 2021. Everything they said we couldn't get, we coming to get.
Really appreciate y'all. This has been one of the most amazing interviews I've ever done.